Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and I like sports. Welcome to another edition of JK Sports. Today, I'm going to cover the new schedule that has just come out for the 2020-2021 season. Before I address that, I'm downstairs in my house. Everybody upstairs is asleep. I want to avoid from waking them up. So, let's get started in with the Miami Dolphins. Our very first game is a Week 17 rematch of that beautiful game where we upset the Patriots and dropped down to number 3 seed, playing the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Now, it's weird expecting a win coming out of New England after so many years going up there expecting loss after loss after loss, and most of the time we end up playing in December, so that cold weather comes against us. So it's nice. I think we'll win. I think we'll win that game. Start the season 1-0. Our very first home game of the season is our Week 2 matchup against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they're a heavy favorite to win the AFC East, but every year we seem to, well, I guess except last year, against our divisional rivals, we usually pull off at least one game against them. I am completely ad-libbing this, by the way. I'm just going based off the ESPN app. I usually have some notes in front of me. I'm just going at this. I have barely even looked at the schedule ahead of time. I think we can get a 2-0 start of the season and then even bring it to 3-0 when we go into Jacksonville, the tank show, the Trevor Lawrence show. Nobody expects them to be competing this year except for competing for number 1 pick. So 3-0 to start off the season, that would raise some reason to feel confident, raise some feeling to maybe make the playoffs. You know, assuming that defense plays well, I assume also Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to start off the season, so bringing the juice that he always brings. But unfortunately, with that Ryan Fitzpatrick juice does come the come down, and then our next four games are going to be tough. And if we lost all 4 games, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. That being playing home against Seattle, going to San Francisco against the 49ers, going to Denver against the Broncos, and then the Chargers at home. Now, those are teams that are all playoff quality teams. 2 of those teams made the playoffs last year. Broncos, everybody loves the Broncos. Everyone wants to pretend like they're geniuses for thinking the Broncos are going to be good. I mean, it makes sense. They finished the season strong. They had a really good offseason. They had a really good draft. Let's start off with the Seahawks. A lot of people underestimated the Seahawks last year. Their running game really deteriorated at the end of the year, so I think they're going to bounce back better. I think they can even win that division. So I have a hard time seeing us win that game. And then the very next week, 49ers. I want to be optimistic, but I can't see them getting any worse than they were last season. Denver Broncos, everybody's come up team. And then even the Chargers, who, they were a pick behind us in this year's draft, so it should mean like, hey, they're not that good. Well, Philip Rivers kind of took a crap last year, just played terrible. And they have a really well-rounded team. I mean, Derwin James coming back. See maybe if Tyrod starts, Justin Herbert starts. It's really hard to say. But I think, unfortunately, it might end up going 0-4 in those games. I know all of those teams are going to come out hot, and especially the Broncos and Chargers are going to be much improved. So, unfortunately, it does leave us at 3-4. And then our very next matchup is a team that seems to be going the opposite direction as we are. We have been at the bottom and have, I don't want to say shot to the top, but we are for sure progressing off of the momentum we have. Whereas the Los Angeles Rams have really got a negative momentum right now. They're very stuck in the middle. They're paying a lot of people. They don't have a lot of room to bring in free agents. They're not bad enough to get a top pick. So I think we're going to beat them at home to bring us to 4-4. That brings us against the Arizona Cardinals following week over in Arizona. I don't know what we're going to get from Arizona. I think they're going to take a step forward. I think they can even make the playoffs. But I'm going to be optimistic. I mean, we're fans. We're allowed to be optimistic. I think we're going to take the victory against the Arizona Cardinals. It leaves us at 5-4. And then 2 weeks in a row of the Jets. I'm not the biggest fan of playing 2 teams in a row back-to-back in any sport. Whenever I see in basketball, hockey, baseball, but football? Come on, you guys could have figured out a scheduling way to manage that out better. We play them at home. We play them on the road. Realistically, they've gotten better. They've added to that offensive line. They've added a receiver. That defense was pretty good. They finished the year 6-2. I think we'll go 1-1. So that leaves us at 6-5 so far. And then, if Tua is playing, our very next game after that will be against the Cincinnati Bengals. Seeing Tua match up against Joe Burrow at home after a really good game last year between the two of us. A game that no one expected to really be worth anything, that we almost completely folded at the end. I think we'll take the victory. It's Cincinnati. They're still dysfunctional. Yeah, they got a better quarterback, but does anybody trust Zach Taylor? Does anybody trust that front office? I see things staying sour in Cincinnati, especially in that division. All three teams in that division are better than them. They're. I don't think anybody's debating whether the Bengals are a top tier team anymore or anywhere near a top tier team. So that brings us to 7-5. If I'm wrong, whatever. I don't have notes. Then Kansas City Chiefs. So 7-7. Is it really more than that? It's Super Bowl champs. It's the greatest quarterback in the league currently. Then we play the Patriots down here, and we always beat them down here with Tom Brady. Why can't we do it without him? I already think we're going to go up there and beat them in our first game of the season. So 8-7. The game that was supposed to, I think, be overseas somewhere against the Raiders, which is our 2 days after Christmas. Maybe a little Christmas gift. Bring us up to, what was I at? I think I said 7. Yeah, so Chiefs was 7-7. 8. Whoa, I did some really bad math somewhere along the way. Well, I think we're going to beat the Raiders. I don't know where I messed up in all of that. Because there's a 17th game. I forgot about that. This is the least professional video I've ever made, and hopefully will ever make. So 7-7, 8-7, 9-7, and 10-7. Hopefully against the Buffalo Bills at home to cap off the season. Going through it and thinking back, 10-7. It's not impossible, but it does seem optimistic. Realistically, I think we're around a 500 team. We're a team that could shoot for the playoffs depending on everything works together, but we're still lacking in all. We have a filled out team. We have a solid defense now. Got our quarterback of the future. Offensive line for the most part figured out. But so many different additions, so many new players, so many players that are going to be gone from last season, so many players that are going to be in from this incoming or this offseason that just passed. Maybe even get Jadeveon Clowney. Who knows? If it all works together, it can be a fun season. It can be a really optimistic season. We can make the playoffs. We can win the division. We can make the wild card. There's a lot of hope going into this, and I knew our schedule was going to be harder on the harder end because of the conferences we play or the divisions we play. We play the NFC West. We play the AFC and NFC West. So you got to run through the Chargers, the Chiefs. Got to run through the 49ers, the Rams, the Seahawks. But if we can somehow manage to pull off a above 500 season, even if we miss the playoffs, and still get around 500, above 500, I think everybody will say that's a huge step up, especially where you look at we were week 1 last year. And maybe even 2 years from now, 3 years from now, serious contenders with Tua behind center. And I can't wait for football. I can't wait for sports in general to come back. I've been tired of every day knowing that you can't watch sports. I've been wondering what's really been the most stressful part about this. And selfishly, I do want to say sports has been the hardest part about this. Just the one thing that I had to look forward to every single day just ripped from me. We wouldn't have football anyways, but at least basketball, soccer's my second favorite sport. Haven't made any videos on it yet. I miss it. I know you guys miss it too. We're not going to take it for granted though anymore. I know, because so many times, especially with South Florida sports, you see such empty arenas. You see the Panthers stadiums are most times less than half full. Even Marlins games, especially Marlins games, in fact, maybe 15% full. Dolphin games, for the most part, do decent, but it's rare we sell out unless the Cowboys come to town, the Packers come to town. Heat have been doing better in attendance since we got a better team. I really expect maybe not this year because everyone's going to be sus still, but when sports comes back, you're going to see a lot more love for sports. You're going to see a lot more care and thankfulness, I hope, for the players, for the teams, because we've missed it. And it's really reflected, me personally, many of you, has really reflected in just our overall mood that we can't have this. So having the schedule drop like this is really nice to see. I'm going to go over see the Ravens schedule. How are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up? This has been... First 3 games of the season. Browns, Texans, Ravens. It's Ravens. I'm an idiot. Browns, Texans, Chiefs. There you go. Man, I know I'm a Dolphins fan first, but I still love my Ravens. And the defensive help we got, adding Patrick Queen, Calais Campbell, Derek Wolfe. Who else was there? Is that it? Probably it. J.K. Dobbins to back up Mark Ingram. I think what Lamar Genius, this is so just off the rails, and I'm not recording this video again. Lamar Jackson needs to come around in the playoffs, because it's one thing to be a regular season player. You see with Russell Westbrook on every single year he comes out and does really well in the regular season, but in the postseason, his game doesn't suit it. And I'm starting to fear that with Lamar Jackson, that running around stuff, that highlight stuff works in the regular season, but when it comes down to playoffs and you have ample time to game plan for people, that you can start to find ways to not necessarily contain him, because eventually he's going to break off some big plays, but limit the amount of damage he can actually do with both his legs and his arm. Let's see. Browns, Texans, Chiefs, Redskins, Bengals, Eagles, Steelers, Colts, Patriots, Titans, Steelers, Cowboys, Browns, Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals. I'm not going to go through each of those, but that's a hefty schedule. But they're the Ravens. After last season, I can't expect us to drop off too much. Man, I can't wait. I really can't wait for next season. Can't wait for sports to come back in general. I just can't wait to be normal. Thank you guys all for watching. This has been a slightly odd episode of JK Sports. A lot more casual, a lot more comfortable. Didn't plan for this at all. Just kind of on a whim. As soon as I saw this drop, I'm like, you know what? Probably can make a video on this. Hope you guys enjoyed. I thank everybody, especially the people who are watching these videos every week. Thank you, Haley, my girlfriend, for being as supportive as you have been through all this and making content. Even though I know I'm not getting a lot of views right now, not getting any monetary any money from it at all, but just sitting in front of camera talking about something I love, talking about sports, really does. I really enjoy it. I don't know if you guys can tell, like, even though I'm not the most energetic right now, like, just sitting in front of a camera talking about sports just, it really makes me happy. And thank you guys that consistently watch. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being here. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Whenever you're watching this, take care. Have a good one.